Okay, so first question, which of these numbers is a prime number? Only the number 2 is prime from this one, as it is the first prime number. 0 is not prime, it is only one factor. 1 is also not prime because it is only one factor, 1 times 1, so that's 63 is 7 times 9, and this is easily divisible by 2. So for 2 marks, 2 or nothing. Round this to the nearest whole number. It's either going to round up to 3 or down to 2. We look at the number after the decimal place. It is 5 or more, so it rounds up. So nearest whole number is 3, or if you want to write 3.0000, it's okay, or any version that has 3 or 3 point something, 0. All right, so that's also worth 2 marks. In a game, a player loses 1 point, gains 2 points, loses 3. So that's loses 1 point, minus 1, gains 2 points, that's plus 2, loses 3, minus 3, gains. So we're looking for that pattern in our list, and it's going to be number D. Next one. List the following integers from least to greatest. So the smallest one here is minus 54. That's way back into the minus. The next one then is minus 11. Okay, and then the biggest of the positive numbers is going to be 18. So the smallest of those positive numbers is 7. 12 is bigger than 7, and 18 is bigger than both, all of them. 2 marks or nothing. Next one, straight integer calculations. Minus 11 plus minus 4, a plus and a minus together is a minus. So that's minus 11, take away another 4. If you're in the exam and you're not sure, draw a number line, and then you go minus, you go further back into the minuses. Minus 15 is the answer here, minus 15 for 1 mark. Minus 121 divided by minus 11, so that's 2 minuses again. That's going to be a positive answer, and it's positive 11, knowing our 11 times tables. Because 11 times 11 is 121. Next one, 7 minus 10, that's a plus. So 7 plus 10 gives 70. Next question, complete first 5 multiples of 8. The first multiple of 8 is got by multiplying 8 times 1, and that is 8. Second one is multiplying 8 times 2, and so on. So 16, 24, 32, and 40.
If you got 2 right after question 5, you get 2 points?
2 points, yeah. List all the factors of 42. I'll list in order. It didn't have to be in order, but I'll list them in order. 1, 2, 3 does go in. How do I know 3 goes in? Because 4 plus 2 gives 6, and 6 is divisible by 3. Does 4 go in? No. 5? No. 6? Yes. 7, because 6 times 7. And now we're on the pairs. So I need a buddy for 42. It is 14, I think. 14. 21 then's buddies 2, and 42. So you could write them in pairs if you want, but I really wanted a list. So there's 2 marks for this list and 2 marks for these. If you get any of them wrong, if you don't have them all here, give yourself 1 mark out of the 2. If you don't have all of them here in the list of factors. So maybe give yourself a running total for that page. That page is out of 15. So you can give yourself a score of 15. Yes, Asmara? Yeah, all these answers are worth 2, and all these answers are worth 2. Okay. Any questions before we move on? All right, so we're on to page number 2. Okay, so we got a number line here. This is an interesting question. It's a tricky question. 4 marks. X and Y are 2 numbers marked. Let's first of all find out what X and Y is. I think X from this is between 0, halfway between 0 and 10, so I think it's at 5. Y is way back here, so I think it goes up and down in 5s. So if that's minus 15, that's minus 20. Y is minus 25. And that wasn't the question. They want to find the value of x plus y. If you've written that somewhere, you've automatically got some attempt marks, which I'll talk about in a second. X plus y then is going to be 5 plus minus 25. A 5 plus minus is a minus. 5 take away 25 is minus 20. Minus 20. Now, there would be attempt marks for this, and I'm not going to go through each person's individual attempt marks. But if you've written somewhere that either of these two are right, you get 1 mark. If you get them both right, written like this somewhere, you get 2 marks. And if you get the final answer right, you get all of the 4 marks. So you can figure out yourself. Next question, order of operations. Okay, so I need to do any brackets first, then any exponents next, then multiplication, division, they're kind of the same line, and addition and subtraction last. So any brackets in this one? Yes, I do this first. This is the way I'd perhaps like you to show your work, so do each bit by bit. This is to help you get attempt marks. If you just go for the answer straight away and you get it wrong, you get no attempt marks. If you do a step correctly, like this, you will get an attempt mark. It's a step in the right direction. So 3 plus 3, or 3 times 3 gives 9, so we're left with 7 plus 9. Do multiplication before any addition, subtraction. And 7 plus 9 gives 16. So that's worth 2 marks. The next part is also worth 2 marks. There's no brackets here, so I got to go division, multiplication next. There's no exponents either. So I'm going to do the one that comes first, left to right. So this division is going to come first. 48 divided by 12 is a 4. Multiplied by 2 plus 7. So I've only done the first part. Now I'm going to do the 4 times 2, which is 8 plus 7. And then 8 plus 7 is 15. So 15 and 16, each of those were 2 marks. For question 9, I'm going to work out all the answers. You didn't have to, you just have to circle one, so you could have just gone there straight away. But I'm going to work out all the answers to show you what they would be. Minus 11 plus minus 13, that's a minus 13. So that's minus 11 minus 13. That's way back at minus 24. That is not a big number. 11 minus minus 13 is 11 plus 13, which is a big number. So that's 24. That's looking like a winner so far. 11 plus minus, that's a minus. So that's going to give 11 take away 13, that's minus 2. Minus minus, here's a plus, so that's minus 11, add 13, that just gets into the positives at 2. There are all our answers. This one should have struck you perhaps as the biggest one, because we're starting at 11 and we're adding 13. Okay, so you can give yourself a running total. That page is out of 10. You can have an estimate of how much you've got so far. So that's okay. Page 3. Draw a prime factorization tree for 100. So this should be a piece of cake, hopefully. 100, start with 100 up the top. Now there's a few ways you can split this up. It doesn't matter which way you do it. I'm going to do 10 times 10. You could have done 2 times 50, 4 times 25. All fine. You'll get the same answers. 10 times 10. 2 times 5 gives 10. And 2 times 5 gives this 10. And try and write your prime factor tree with the final answer either like this, or you can write 2 squared times 5 squared. If you haven't done that, give yourself the full marks for now, but make a note. In the exam, the question will read, write your answer as a product of its prime factors, which means write it like this.
But I did this when I did another. I did 100 is 50 and 2, and then I did 50 and 2.
Didn't I get that as one of the examples? Did you get the same answer? All right. So there's a number of ways of doing these things. Yes. Okay. Next one, question 11. List as many multiples of 8 and 10 as you need to evaluate the lowest common multiple. Okay, so if I was doing this, I would just do 4 maybe, 8, 16, 24, 32 from the first one before I do any from the second one, and then I start the second one, 10, 20, 30, 40. Now there's no overlap yet, so I'll go back to the first one and do another 4. And as soon as I've done one more, I notice 40. Now you could have listed more than that, but as soon as you hit it, I would suggest that I write LCM equals 40 or lowest common, just to make your answer very clear. Otherwise, if you've just stopped and haven't said what your answer is, that makes it difficult as a marker to figure out what you mean by your answer. If you didn't, it's okay, but just make a note. Virginia. Yeah, sure. I'm going to give you the exact same one. No, it's not the exact same one. It is similar questions. So there's more than likely going to be something asking for lowest common multiple by listing method, but different numbers, yeah.
If we did write the LCM, do we still get full marks or do we get common?
If it was clear what was the LCM, give yourself full marks. But just remember in the exam to make and this is for the entire time in your secondary school, make the answer very clear and show your methods. You'll have time to show your methods and which one of the numbers that you've written down on the page is your answer. Yeah, so not very clear. So give yourself 4 for today. I'd give you the full marks, but just make a note that it's worthwhile just summing up your answer at the end. Okay. Same for this. List all the factors of 27 and 54. So listing all the factors of 27, 1, 3, 9, and 27. That's 1 mark. Listing all the factors of 54. You have to get them all now. 1, 2, 3 divide in? Yes. 4? No, it doesn't go in evenly. 5, no. 6 goes. 9 goes, because 6 times 9. Then what? 3 times what? 3 times, it's 18, yeah. 3 times 18, 2 times 27, and 1 times 54. So that means the highest common factor of these lists, the highest one is 27. There's a few of them. 27. If you got 27, but you didn't list all the factors of 54, take 1 off your 4 marks. You only got 3 out of 4. Honey? I didn't hear that. You didn't have to do this. You could do either way around. That's fine. Yeah. Yes, that's the start of the question. List all the factors of 27, 54. Full stop. Using the lists. Okay? Question 13. Calculate the following. So there's loads of brackets going on here. At this level of maths, the square brackets mean nothing different than circular brackets. Just do what's inside the brackets first. So I do what's inside here. A plus minus is a minus. 12 take away 3 then is 9. So all that bracket is 9. And that's multiplied by minus 4 and divided by 2 squared. That's the brackets done. Now, I should do exponents next. So I'm going to do the exponent at the end here next. 2 squared. What's 2 squared? 4, yeah. 2 times 2. All right. Now I got to do this multiplication next. Because it's multiplication division, do whichever comes first. 9 times 4 is 36. 9 times minus 4 then is minus 36. Divided by 4 is back down to 9. Now, the speedy amongst us will realize if you multiply by 4 and then divide by 4, it hasn't changed the number much. But it's going to be a minus 9, isn't it? So the answer is minus 9. That one was worth, I think the marks are on the next page, 4 marks. All right, so this page is worth 16 marks, sorry, 16 marks. Give yourself a score of 16 for that one. On to the last page, 2 final questions. won't get any marks for it. I don't know, what's the... nothing's going to happen, you just won't get any marks for it. But you should have attempted it. Okay, question 14. Oh, the cube root of 8. What number by itself 3 times gives 8? Quentin? 2, yes. Well, to be honest, I should have done the brackets first. So I'll do that first, and I'll come back to the 2. Brackets, the square root of 4. Okay, that's a bit fuzzy. The square root of 4 is 2 as well, isn't it? Plus 3 squared, 9. So that's going to be 2 plus 9. We already discussed the cube root of 8 to be 2. This can also be made, what's 5 cubed? Quentin again. Carlo, you agree? Yes, 125. Okay, minus 2. Okay, so I've done all the brackets. Well, I haven't done all the brackets, but I've done all the exponents. Let's get this bracket tidied up before I do any more. 2 times 11 plus 125 minus 2. I can change that to a plus, and I will in a minute. Yeah, it's absolutely fine. I'm probably doing too much working out here. Maybe 1 line or 2 lines you could have done this. Okay. It's only, this is the only multiplication left. So 2 times 11 gives 22. Plus 125. And I'm going to change this minus to a plus because it's annoying me. Add all those up together, you get 1. Well, these 2 together first, if you want to do those, that's 147. Plus 2 gives 149. That's my answer. Anyone get 149?
Yes.
Woo, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, you remember getting 149. You can't remember? Okay. If you can't remember, you can't. Okay. So well done. The last question then. The highest common factor, lowest common multiple one. Using any method, but no calculator, can be tricky. So hopefully this will focus for me. Excuse me? Okay, my method, I'm going to use the prime factor tree method. I think it's the easiest method. Listing all the factors and all the multiples could take a while, and you might miss some. Okay, so prime factor 3 of 240 first. 240 is 24 times 10 anyway. 24 then is 3 times 8, or you could have gone 4 times 6 or whatever. 10 is 2 times 5. That's prime, that's prime, that's prime. 8 is not prime. That's 4 times 2. And 4 is 2 times 2. Prime factor 3 complete. Let's just list all the numbers down here. 240 is 2 times 2 times 2 times 2. Anyway, it's 4 of them. Okay, and then there's a 3 and a 5. They're all the primes. That's why we finished the branches there. We didn't go any further because they were prime numbers. Okay, that's that one done. Let's do 650. I think 65 times 10 is probably the easiest way to start. You can go a different way if you want. 10 is still 5 times 2 and always will be. 65 then, I know it's divisible by 5, and you might have to, it is 13 times 5, yeah. Okay. Is that all the primes? They are primes, or 8? I think they are, yeah. So 650 can be written 2 times 5, or not 5, 2 times 5 times 5 times 13. Okay. I'll do this in a different color just so you can see. Okay, so what's common in both? So there's 2 2's anyway. These 2 2's are in both, but I only write it once. So, okay, and then this is to find the highest common factor. So there's 2 2's and there's 2 5's. There's a 5 here and there's a 5 here. So I write that once here. Anything else? No, these don't have a buddy over here, so we don't write them. So remember, when you're writing the highest common factor, only write it, even though they're in both lists, only write it once down here. 10. Highest common factor is 10. Lowest common multiple then uses the highest common factor and multiply by the rest. So 10 multiplied by the rest. This, and this. Multiply by 2, multiply by 2, multiply by 2, multiply by 3 from here. Multiply by 5, multiply by 13. Now you're going to get a question like this maybe at the end of this exam is coming up as well. The order I multiply these in when it focuses doesn't matter. If they're all multiplication, it's all going to be multiplied by each other eventually, so I can pick the order I multiply it by. So hopefully this will focus in a second. Right, so maybe that doesn't make it easier, but I know 2 times 5 down here that's 10. Times this 10 is going to be 100 anyway. So 2 times 5 gives 10, and 10 times 10, that's 100. And I'm still left with times 2, times 2, times 3, times 13. Now 2 times 2, that's 4. Okay, so that's 4. So that's 100 times 4, so that's 400. Times 3 times 13. Okay, so 400 times 3. Well, 4 times 3 is 12. You just put the 2 zeros with it. 2 zeros. Okay. 12 times 13 I need to know. And then just put the 2 zeros after it. 12 times 13. Now I can do this a long multiplication. 1, 2, 0, 0 times 13 if I want. So I can multiply everything by 3. 3 times 0 is 0, 3 times 0 is 0, 3 times 2 is, so 0, 0, 3 times 2 is 6, 3 times 1 is 3. Okay, that's multiplying by the 3, and then multiply by the 10. Start with a 0, and then 1 times that is 0, 1 times that is 0, 1 times that is 2, 1 times that is 1. Line them up then, add them together, 15600. And that is the LCM. So LCM is 156. And that is worth 3 marks. So that page is only worth 6 marks. Give yourself a score of 6. HCF is worth 1 marks, LCM 2 marks out of the 3. Okay, so add up your scores. The total score is out of 50. Oh, hold on. 47. Not 50. 47. 1 second. The whole test is out of 47. You could try and convert that to a percentage. So if you got, let's say, 37 out of 47, divide 37 by 47 and then multiply by 100 if you want. And we'll do that in the next unit. You should know.